Hello, Kevin. Are you here? I thought I let myself in. The door was open. Kevin? Hello? I guess I better get that. Hello?
Hello, Joe.
Who's this?
Joe, it's me, Russell Brand.
Russell?
Russell Brand.
Really?
Joe, I'm not doing too well, Joe.
I heard the news. What happened?
She left me, Joe.
Why?
Well, she said till death do us part, but I'm not dead, Joe.
Are you sure? You sound like it.
No, that was Katy effing Perry. And she's gone now, Joe.
But you're a comedian. You're supposed to be laughing.
Oh, on the inside, I'm dancing like a clown. Oh, I'm jumping up and down, Joe.
And so what's this prenup thing?
Well, the prenup thing is basically she gets all of my money.
No wonder you sound so bad.
Yeah. It's pretty upset, Joe. She was Katy Perry.
You can start over.
When?
As soon as it's over, you can start again.
Joe, it's supposed to be over now because she left and took everything, including the limo, Joe.
Oh, no.
She said she was going down to 7-Eleven to get some food. She said, I'll be back. That was 3 weeks ago, Joe.
Well, just think if she said she was getting milk, it could have been worse.
And now I have to comb my hair straight, and I have to...
Where are you calling from if she took everything?
I'm calling from, I didn't research that before we started this vignette, so...
She didn't take your cell phone?
She took my cell phone. That's why I called on the old, ringy-dingy. So...
Oh, are you calling from England?
Yes.
Oh, bloody good.
Oh, don't make fun of me, Joe. Come right over
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That's something you just don't want to do.
I don't have a good British
in the
accent.
mood that I'm in right now with, Katy leaving me, you don't want to push my buttons.
I'm just wondering one thing.
Yes.
How did you know my name?
Oh, I heard you were starting your new podcast tonight. I know it's been a while.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, congratulations. I think it's
thanks.
great. Even though Katy left me.
Oh.
Did you hear about that?
Oh, that's all over the news.
Yep. Soon to be history, just like every celebrity wedding, I guess. It's just the way it goes.
You had to make some kind of money off that. Everybody does.
Hardly. No money whatsoever. I hardly make money on anything I do, really.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, everything just goes to...
You're not going to host any more shows?
Of my own? Yes. But okay, so I guess you better start your show. It's a new show. And
I got to find Kevin.
Well, he'll be there soon, I'm sure. Just go ahead and start
so.
the theme song. He'll show up.
Okay. Hey, take care, man. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks, man. There's plenty of Perry fish in the sea, I would think.
That's correct.
Yes, that's
You got that right.
That was Katy Perry.
I know.
I'm not going to do better than that.
You never know.
Next, I'm going to be dating that Suzanne Boyle or something. It's just the way it goes. Yeah.
Well, at least she's with the British accent there.
But don't do that, Joe. I'm in a bad mood. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a comedian to a comedian.
Talk
Sorry.
to you later.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Pretentious podcast.
Are you ready?
are you?
Pretentious.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. We hope you enjoy.
Pretentious podcast.
Ready to go? Get ready. Are you?
Pretentious.
The show is about to begin.
Pretentious podcast. Pretentious. Pretentious, Joe.
Pretentious.
Pretentious. Excessive. Of affected, unwarranted, or exaggerated importance, worth, or stature, attempting to impress or affect greater importance, talent, and culture than is actually possessed.
Sounds like me.
Sounds like me.
Sounds like both of us.
And what a perfect way to do a show.
That's great.
So welcome to the first edition of Pretentious Podcast. My name is Kevin.
My name is Joe. Welcome.
And he and I have been in podcasting together, so we're going to get an NPR on you right now. Joe and I have been podcasting together for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Started in 2008, and that's about 10 years with
about.
Zurbancast, and then we went on to the, which came first, Mom and Pop Shop or Kevin Joe?
Kevin Joe.
Kevin Joe Show, and then from there we went on to Mom and Pop Shop, and then from there I went on to Instrumentally Speaking, and now this, because we're finally closer together.
Yes.
If you hear strange noises other than ones that we make, it's because we're surrounded by all four sides and up and down by other people. I now live in an apartment instead of a house.
Yeah.
And if
That's too bad.
No, it's not too bad, Joe.
Well, with the background noise.
Oh, yeah, with the noises. I thought you meant
That's what
because
I
I live in
meant.
an apartment.
No, I'm glad you're closer to me, but
Yeah.
the background noise I meant.
So, yeah, I miss where we used to be, just for the soundproofing aspect of it.
Right.
So, if you hear any noises, it's the surrounding peeps, and we're sorry. Unless we push buttons, because I do have a sound effects board again, which is nice. But it's possible that
It works very well.
that actually was the neighbors. That wasn't me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. Doggone neighbors.
I thought it was us. Did you hear that buzzing? There's
Uh-uh.
like a low rumble bass that's downstairs. They're trying to figure out how to plug in their bass in the subwoofer. It keeps going.
Why don't you tell them someday how to do it?
No, we just got here, and I'm not trying to start fights with
No, just be friendly.
anybody. I can't be friendly, Joe.
They're friendly. People are friendly to you here.
They're funnel to me?
They're friendly.
Friendly. What does funnel mean?
Well, I was thinking of cakes.
So, let me tell you what's going to go on with these shows.
Yeah.
Joe and I are very old people. We like to complain about everything.
Yeah.
We're like two grumpy old men.
Yep.
We're in a lot of pain.
A lot of pain.
Right now, I have a headache.
I have a knee ache.
I have pain in my toes from eating packaged turkey.
I have pain in my elbow from the weather.
I have gout.
I think I have gout too.
You have gout too? Is that like worse than gout 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've got, just gout 1, which is good. This show is going to be us complaining about up-to-date items, things that we hear on the news.
Just about anything,
pop culture.
really.
Yeah, and it can be any. There goes our conveyor belt. Now, I don't know if you could hear that, but that sounded like the Star Trek Enterprise was about to lift off.
Captain, beam me up.
It's so weird being in we went from a 3-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom apartment. No, I'm sorry, a 3-bedroom house to a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, 1 bedroom, but it's pretty cozy here.
It's cozy, but different.
Big difference.
Big difference. And I'll tell you something about moving. Well, before we get there, let me tell you what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about what this show will be about, which is pretty much what we just did. We're going to talk about ourselves and how we got to know each other. And we're going to talk about how moving sucks. And then we're going to talk about the top 10 events. It's going to be our top 10 events of 2011 in no particular order. We're going to talk about those topics. And it'll give me a chance to use my countdown sound effect again, which will be
Cool.
nice.
Yay.
And it's still recording.
Keep an eye on that. I was watching.
I'm going to keep watching. As usual, our podcasts, we always have technical difficulties, and we're actually recording this again.
You people at home don't know.
What do you mean by you people?
I get it.
So like we said, we're grumpy old men. Let me tell you a little bit about Joe, and he'll tell you a little bit about me. Now, I've known Joe since I was 13 years old. I met him in what was then Drug Fair. Drug Fair now is called Rite Aid. But Drug Fair is basically your pharmacy, your drugstore, early 80s. And he was helping customers real angry, and his face was real red. And I went up to him because I thought he had some kind of deficiency. And I said, "What's the matter?" And Joe went, "My name." He introduced himself, and he was mad at customers. That's why his face was red. So ever since I've known Joe, short-tempered, but great guy, or else I wouldn't have been hanging
you.
out with him since 1983.
That's
That was
been 83, 84, maybe.
So he's my second oldest friend on the planet. My oldest friend is Tommy, because I met him when he was pretty much born.
You were in school together, in grade school.
No, I went to school with his brother, and I
Oh.
remembered when he was pretty much born. Like I said, pretty much, because we don't know if he was born
Right.
or not. I think he was
You
hatched.
caught the afterbirth, didn't you?
That's disgusting. And
Pretentious, man.
sure is.
Pretentious podcast.
And I've known him for this many, Joe's for this many years. So it's been a very long, tedious
relationship. Pretentious.
And he's a great guy. He's always been there for me. He helped me move completely. Always buys me McDonald's. We have a lot of similarities. We like the same things. It's like we're a married couple.
It's been, 20-some years?
Close
since
to
we've known each other?
27 years.
Well, the first
28.
time going back to drug fair, the first time that I saw Kevin was he was running around drug fair shooting or spraying
Cologne
at the assistant manager, Kenny. How you doing, Kenny?
Out of
if you're
Super
listening.
Soaker.
But anyway, that's the very first time he had a Bon Jovi hairdo.
Yeah.
He was very impressionable. He was, very easygoing. Dude,
That makes you to be the angry one all the time. I'm very angry.
no, back then you were pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
When I first met you.
Okay.
You were always sort of a very caring person, really. I can remember.
What the hell happened?
Hey, age. Come on. I used to be the same way, but now I feel inside, everything is to me.
You know why? It's all the fast food.
Well, no, I've held in things so much in my, because I was always introverted. Now I'm outroverted, and it's coming out.
You're outroverted? Or extroverted?
Extroverted. I'm very extroverted.
You have extrovert.
Sort of.
So
when I need to be.
You have a lot of vertness.
But anyway,
That's an advertisement.
that's the first time I remember seeing you, and then
Yeah.
I think we started working together at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't know the exact time that we actually started hanging with each other.
That first night I met you, you said, "Would you like to come over to my place for some candy?" 'Cause you were
I have a shiny new quarter.
something like that, and I was like, "Sure, I'll get in the back of the van," and then and it's been a close relationship ever since.
But anyway, it took off from there, and it's sort of like a flash. From there to here. We've been through so much, but a lot of things, I remember, a lot of things I don't. But you're very caring,
Thank you.
very angry sometimes. Things get to you. It's kind of weird. You're mixed so much. It's all
Shut up.
get out. You're a mixed package, in other words, what I mean.
So it's sort of like the green beans, broccoli, and corn.
Right, but
in
the good
frozen
comes
food
out
section.
over the bad.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
the corn always wins.
The corn.
Well, thanks.
Depends if you like corn.
And Joe's a nice guy, too. He's a good father. He has 2 beautiful kids.
Thank you.
Michael and Stephanie.
Cynthia.
Christine.
Cynthia.
Cynthia. And Cynthia is close to my heart at the present moment because she's got a guitar and she's learning
Yes,
it.
her first guitar.
Electric guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. And and Michael's funny.
Yeah,
Very
he's cool.
funny.
Yeah.
And I love your wife because she's short. And I love short women.
Do you?
Don't know what that means,
Yeah, she's very nice too.
but she's so short. I can tell you don't know what to say to that.
She wasn't in a Wizard of Oz or anything like
Okay,
that.
well, that's good. No, she's not that short. I'm joking. I
Yeah,
just
I
like
know.
to.
She's really great.
Yeah, she is, and I love her dearly. And I've, like we said, known Joe 28 years, so I can't imagine not having Joe around. Joe's always been around. You've lived with me for a short period of time.
Yeah, I had a hernia operation.
Yep.
Took care of me.
Thank you. I had to massage the hernia area. Wait, where did
No,
your
you
hernia-
didn't.
Where did your hernia happen?
No,
it was
it-
in your back.
Lower quadrant, but
Oh,
don't
I'm
worry
sorry.
about
No,
it.
that wasn't that operation.
There's a lot of quadrants on your body, so don't worry about where it
Yeah.
is.
It's your quads and glutes.
Quads and glutes, yeah.
So, yeah, known you a long, long time.
It's been a while.
And it makes for a good show.
Yes, it does.
So,
Too grumpy.
old complaining
Pretentious.
guys who know each
Yeah,
other too long.
right.
The reason I got the name Pretentious Podcast is there was a podcast we used to listen to called Chicken Pot Pod.
Yeah.
Props to Chicken Pot Pod.
Yeah, I like that.
And when we started our Zurbancast podcast, they were giving us props on iTunes by saying you need to listen to this show, said a bunch of stuff, and then they said not at all pretentious, and that always stuck in my head.
Really?
Yeah, because he was joking. That was by Christopher
Isn't
Stapleton.
that weird how just one word can
One
affect
word
you?
stayed in my mind forever. It's like, yeah, he's right. I am pretentious. And I never thought about the word pretentious before.
Neither have I.
I am so pretentious.
Me too.
But not to the point where it's the core meaning of the word pretentious.
Right. But it's in there somewhere.
But it's in there enough that I thought,
Right.
one day I'm going to do a podcast called Pretentious Podcast. And I didn't want to give myself the right to curse because I'm not a big public cursor. I like to curse when I bang my toe on something
Right,
stupid.
exactly.
Or I shove a knife in my knee.
Yeah.
I'm going to curse. But,
Drop a box on your toe. Yeah.
right, especially with gout.
Exactly.
It hurts when you drop a box
It
on
does.
a gouted foot.
Believe me.
And I wanted to do a show that would let me be a little bit of the ass that I am, but not to the point where it's going to insult people. And if it
Right.
does insult people, there's a little part of me that goes, good.
Right.
Because I'm going to speak my mind on a lot of things. And
And in a way, we're insulting ourselves anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, so, it's,
I'm German, you're Polish.
I'm German, Polish, and Irish.
I'm Irish and German. I don't have the Polish. But I'll be making fun of you because you do some Polish things.
There you go.
And I'm part Welsh, and I love grapefruit juice.
Yes. So do I.
Or grape juice, actually. They don't make grapefruit juice. Does Welsh?
No, it's grape juice.
Welch's.
Yes.
That's what the show is going to be about. So did we talk about moving?
Yes, we did.
We moved.
We moved, and it was hard.
What was hard, Joe?
Never mind.
It was a hard time moving.
Yes, it was.
If I haven't said this already, you start to realize who your friends are when you move.
You do. You really do.
You really can narrow down who you can count on. I want to thank my buddy Tommy. I want to thank my buddy Kenny. I want to thank my buddy Joe, Gina, John Adams.
John Adams.
God bless John Adams. He tried his best to help me move my piano the most he could. But you
Right.
realize that certain people just like to become crickets.
Well, he was probably pretty old from signing the Declaration of Independence. John
No,
Adams.
that's not that one.
Oh, you got me there.
He couldn't lift anything. I asked him. I was like, Mr. Adams, could you please? And he's holding his wrist like, I just
Yeah.
finished signing a whole book.
Right.
I'm not in the mood. You might want to ask Mr. Hancock. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of bad jokes in this podcast.
That's right. So don't take
Really
offense. It's
bad.
not personal.
Yeah, nothing personal, Mr. Hancock or Mr. Adams.
Right.
And again, this isn't the end all be all of all podcasts. This will probably last about 6 months because that's how long I'm going to live in this apartment before we move to Connecticut. I would like to do this as long as possible, but we'll see. So let's go on to our first subject
Okay.
on the Pretentious Podcast.
Let's go.
So here we go with our top 10 events from 2011
Okay.
in history.
In the history.
In the history. And it gives me another reason to use this sound effect. Number 10. Oh, I miss it.
I know.
Did you
I
miss those
remember
days?
that.
Yeah. Well, let's reminisce. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, number 10. I picked Claude Schulz, the last combat war veteran from World War I.
I don't know him.
Who died at 110 years old in Australia. He passed away in June.
He's the last World War I veteran. God bless him.
Last combat veteran. I'm sure there's more people somewhere. There's got to be somebody who had something to do with World War I.
Okay.
But the combat veteran.
He was probably in the trenches.
And what's sad is now that person's gone, people like, for instance, Jocelyn, I guess this happens all over the world, but Jocelyn, who was born in September of this year, will not know what it was like to be on the planet with somebody who was involved so heavily in World War I.
Right. And that was actually the first
Mr. Claude Schulz.
big war of the 20th century. Yeah.
One of them.
One of them. I said the first.
I'm not trying to put you down, Joe.
No, are you sure?
Occupy Wall Street. What the
my
hell?
gosh.
Turning into a hippie fest. Grateful Deadheads parading up and down the street, and they don't know what they're fighting for now. When
Right.
it started, and again, this is me being pretentious, but when it started, it was a great idea. I completely understood it.
Right.
They were fighting for that 1%.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing.
No, they were fighting for the 99% of the people that don't have.
That's all bull crap.
Joe,
I'm sorry for saying bull.
shh. Shelley, is that you? Yeah. Okay. I thought someone was coming with a gun.
I don't want to get into that, but that 1% pays a lot of money anyway. And you might end up being a 1% someday.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know.
1%'s great.
But let me tell you this. I was up in New York when they started, and I didn't even know that this was Occupied New York.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the park that they started, and we were touring, me and my family.
Yeah.
We happened to go there again that day, looked around the park, toured around, and then we saw all these cops lined up, and all these people started marching toward us. Fortunately, they were marching toward us and towards their camp or whatever target where we wanted to go. So we just kind of turned around and started walking where we wanted to go. They were right behind us chanting.
Well, I think it started with a good reason.
Yeah.
I think the main intent is great. But now it's turned into this, like I said, hippie fest. You got people who don't even know what they're fighting for. They're just going along because they've dropped out of school or they dropped out of work to go ahead and join this thing. And they have an inkling of what they're fighting for. And it's just gotten messy. It's making a bunch of trash. It's making a big, huge, stinking mess. Toilets are turning into the public streets and public woods.
And it's not just about that. They want free money. If they want part of that
gold,
spread the wealth or whatever you call it, work for it.
You're pretentious.
Oh, come on.
Number 8.
The ridiculous battle of the debt ceiling on August 2nd. What the hell?
Tell me about it.
Partisan divisions led to the fight over $14.3 trillion with the debt ceiling, and we lost our AAA credit rating because of that.
I know. Now if you break down, they're not going to be able to tell you.
Yeah. John Boehner broke down quite often.
Yes.
He broke down and cried a lot. And then Obama was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
That's my Obama impersonation.
He said that if he couldn't get the budget and all that stuff figured out and fixed, he would be a one-term president. Well, guess what? He's got to be a one-term president because nothing is fixed.
I was trying to guess.
But anyway.
You're right, and it's ridiculous. I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Numbers.
This isn't the top 10 ridiculous events of 2011, and I'll prove it with this next one.
Number 7.
The royal wedding between Prince William and Catherine Middleton.
Yes.
That was amazing to watch.
I watched it.
And it was laid back.
Some of it.
I mean, it was, of course, frilly and expensive and massive and elegant, but they're really laid back people. They're not like crazy with it.
No, because he has a nice little chateau somewhere. Nothing fancy.
Watch your mouth, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Be careful.
Number 6.
Steve Jobs passed away of pancreatic cancer like my dad did.
Like my late brother-in-law.
And not like oh.
Yeah,
sorry.
I understand.
He died at age 56, and of course Steve Jobs, the guru behind Mac products, Macintosh in general, died October 5th.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
I know.
You know, my dad died the same way. There's a slight part of me that gets pretentious in this aspect where I've said without thinking, and I'll say it again, I'm not going to think about it, I'm just going to say it. He's the reason people look down all the time. He's the reason people look down at a screen. But then you have to blame the people for buying it in the first place. But I said that to a friend of mine. I said, how many times a day do you look at a screen? You know, count how many times you do that.
I know. It's ridiculous.
And I look at Steve Jobs as the premier starter of that, you know. But then you got to blame Mr. Gates.
Of course. They're all in cahoots, yeah. Bill Gates.
You got to blame Mr. Gates for a bunch of PC stuff. So you can't blame. I'm not upset with him.
Right. I think it was all in cahoots with the eye doctors.
Number 5.
Get it?
The Japanese earthquake on March 11th, 9.0 earthquake claimed over 15,000 lives. About 3,500 people are still missing today.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was an amazing event. And I remember watching it on YouTube. Actually, the night it happened, they had a live broadcast on YouTube.
I watched it on
and they
CNN
showed that. And
Fox.
I was just shocked when I saw it. I thought it was a tape from something in history before.
Or a movie.
Or a movie. Amazing.
I mean, that's something that
truly
amazing. Hollywood would make.
Number 4.
The England riots following the shooting death by police of a known drug dealer in Tottenham, London.
What was that all about? I mean,
More than 3,100 arrests were made. London went nuts.
wait a minute. They shot this drug dealer,
Yeah, and then everybody went nuts and
Because they
started this
shot-
huge riot.
this guy who's dealing drugs, ruining people's lives, and they're going to protest the police shooting him.
Yeah, but he was a well-known drug dealer.
Okay, but guess what?
No. Why do you have to say guess what so much?
Did I say that?
All the time. Wait till I edit.
Why?
I'm kidding.
What's the big deal?
I don't know. It bugs me.
Well, for instance, then,
Guess what, Joe?
why are they supporting this bad guy?
They're not. They're upset because the drugs are gone.
Well, then they should be shot too.
Oh, Joe, you can't wish murder on an entire
I'm not wishing.
country.
I said they should be. That's not wishing.
You just...
If it happens, it happens. And by the way,
Ugh, that's not right.
it had to be special forces over there because
You say
or
by
the
the way
special
a lot.
police. What? Oh, get out.
Oh, get out.
I know. But anyway, I probably say that a lot.
No, I'm just joking.
The average police officer over there does not carry a handgun. So it probably was like a sting operations. He probably made the wrong move and boom, he deserved it.
That's not right.
Well,
We don't know them. We shouldn't judge them.
drugs ruin a lot of lives. I'm not judging him. I'm just saying, for instance, we don't have to be
Perfect.
perfect. We're pretentious.
All right. Well, that's good.
Number 3.
The killing of Osama bin Laden, May 1st, 2011. Now, I got to say, I'm very glad that
He's not here.
the person who directed the most horrible event in my history and probably tons of other people
Oh, yeah.
is no longer on the face of the earth. What bothered me about that whole situation was the fact that the reaction of the people after he was killed.
Right.
They immediately got on. There was one reporter. This is what turned my stomach just a little bit.
Okay.
The place where I work, there's a lot of different people, different types of people there.
Right.
A lot of different backgrounds.
Yes.
A lot of ethnicity. And I'm watching CNN, and this reporter gets on there. It was a man. You know
Yeah.
how guys are.
Stereotyping.
And he, I'm sorry, I have to do it. I don't mean to be a manist,
Okay, go ahead.
but, or a feminine. No, I can't say that either. There's so much you can't say now.
Well, guess what?
Well,
Stop
guess
being
what?
pretentious then.
That's my problem.
Yeah, okay.
But this gentleman, he's on the news, and he with this big ear, grinning ear to ear. Osama
Looked like the
bin
Joker.
Laden, exactly, is
Yeah.
dead. Osama bin Laden is dead, and he said it over and over again. It was just such a
Like he's chanting.
sort of like that. Sort of like he was looking at a delicious steak he was just going to devour.
Yeah.
And to me, that attitude is the same core attitude that started the whole crap in the first place. I almost said the S word, man. And
Right. And
it's the same kind of evil for some reason. That's the only word I can think of. The same kind of evil that is
That started this whole thing. That started the attack.
That involves that type of
Right.
ugliness. I can't take that. So that was just me. But again, I am so glad that person is not on the planet to
I
worry
feel
about.
the same way,
And it seems that things have been much safer ever since that happened. Your
Not really.
thoughts, Joe?
I got caught up into that bloodthirsty thing at first too. But then I thought, I'm not a bloodthirsty person, you know, like.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm glad also that he's not around.
Yeah, me too. Do you think that the place has gotten the place? Do you think that we're safer now without him? Of course.
I don't know necessarily think we're safer because their redundancy. There's redundancy
Rotundas.
in Al Qaeda. If one fails, the other one takes over. They already had that planned, so it's not really safe. And they already had a couple bombings after that.
Yeah,
And-
there's been a lot in
but
that area
but
now.
it did take.
There always will
It was
be
a victory. It was a psychological victory.
psychological victory.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, serious.
You'll say Al Qaeda, I say Al Qaeda. You say. Oh, sorry. Well, let's go onward.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Number 2.
The 9/11 memorial, September 11th of 2011, it went up On the 10th anniversary of 9/11, the official memorial opened in New York City. Two reflecting pools set in the footprints of the original World Trade Center Twin Towers opened up. Beautiful waterfalls. Amazing to see that happen. And you were there.
I was there that weekend that it opened up. It wasn't actually open to the public, as in completely open.
Right.
They sold tickets right there. You had to wait in line.
Yeah.
They only allowed so many people for the whole day.
Yeah.
I was unfortunately not one of them, but I was able to go around some of the construction sites to peek in.
That's nice.
But I didn't see 100% of it, but
At
it's
least
very
you got to see
inspiring.
something. I got to get up there and
Very
see this.
inspiring.
It's
And the
gonna-
building itself is like halfway done, and that looks beautiful.
That's what I think they were trying to make that. So they wanted it to be at least halfway done by.
Yeah,
the
and it's gonna be
11th.
higher
Pretty good.
than the
Oh,
other
it's going to
one.
be huge.
Yeah.
That's a testament to the human spirit and the American spirit to have
The
that.
strength of the American.
But just and the amazing value of us
Yeah,
is in that.
exactly.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful when that's done. And now this is both tragic and amazingly happy to me. And let's go on to
Number 1.
the attempted assassination of Congresswoman Giffords and her amazing recovery.
I can't believe it's almost a year.
It'll be January 8th right now.
Oh, okay, well-
Recording this is January 5th. So
Wow.
in 3 days.
Doesn't
it'll
seem
be-
like it's been a year.
This will be available the 6th. It's a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Sunday be a year. You mentioned before, though, that can't forget the other people who were wounded and
died,
and
lost their
died.
loved ones. Yes.
Yeah, in that situation. But what she went through to get back to even where she is now,
I know.
it just, again, is another testament to the human spirit to be
It's a
great.
miracle.
And I love that. That gets me every time.
That's one positive thing that happened out of a tragedy.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So that's the top 10 list of things that I thought were very important that happened over the past
Yes.
year.
Yeah.
So when we do our shows from now on, we'll have a section for current movies. We won't have lists all the time,
Right.
which will take a while to do like we just did. We'll try to stick to current events, maybe 2 or 3 current events that happened.
Right.
Things that pertain to pretentiousness,
Yes.
i.e. divorces of celebrities. That shouldn't make headlines. That should be something private.
Well, guess what? When you're a celebrity, you're in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's what
Period.
my
You
mom
bought
says
into it,
that.
you're going to get it.
Entertain us, dang it.
That's right.
Even in your worst moments.
That's right. Exactly.
What do you think would happen when he married Katy Perry, Russell?
He was just a regular guy looking at something nice and saying,
Joe,
hey,
you're married, man.
well, I'm just telling you, all guys are the same in certain ways.
Got to be careful of that.
Unless
All
you're-
right. Hey, every time we end our show. Oh, let me tell you this.
What's that?
What were you were going to, don't go there.
Okay, I won't.
There's just people who are different,
Different. Yeah.
special.
I'll say different.
All right. Now we're going to have areas like current movies. We have a section called computer chips that we'll do. Joe and I are famous for doing a chipmunk version of something. And
Oh, yes.
So we like to play video games and record ourselves as we're playing them for some silly reason. It gives us something to listen to while we're at work. And we like to speed it up in chipmunk fashion. So we'll have sections for that. And we're going to try to keep all these shows under 30 minutes. Hopefully I did that tonight, even though as I'm recording, we're on 37
Even
minutes.
it took us hours to make this.
Done takes us a while. So here, quick movie information. We'll get into this later. February 10th is the date for the first of all three
Oh, gosh.
3D remakes of all of them Star Wars movies.
All of them has 6 movies, or
He's going to redo all 6 in 3D. And the first one to be released February 10th. It's Star Wars to me.
of this year.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan anymore because it's killing me.
Oh,
Star
come on.
Wars is everywhere now.
And
I can't even get mayonnaise without Darth Vader on the cover.
oh, come on, get out.
There's Darth Vader mayonnaise.
Where?
Blended
Well-
with a lightsaber.
We'll get it and
That was
save it as a
terrible-
collectible. Oh, but you have to see Clone Wars.
I don't have to see a dang thing.
Oh, you said dang.
Lord.
No, anyway,
What do you mean?
I would like to see it in 3D. I don't care.
Let me start our ending music.
I would like to see it in 3D. I don't care. Anyway, just see it in 3D?
I don't think I could see it.
Why?
Just because you
Because
want
of
to see
3D.
it.
Oh,
No.
because I want to.
Yeah. That'd be the only reason. I'll probably
Oh,
see it
come on.
with you. We have to watch it in IMAX 3D.
IMAX 3D.
All right.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what, guys? You can find us at www.kzmoods.webs.com. Soon, this show will be on iTunes it should be on iTunes immediately.
Yep.
So this show you can find on iTunes with all of the others. We're going to just lock this in with the Instrumentally Speaking podcast site. Maybe after a couple of shows, I might try to separate it. We don't know. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/PRETPOD, Pret Pop. Thanks so much for listening. Why are you laughing over there?
I'm just picturing myself rocking back and forth going, and hitting this.
Well, don't rock in the chair and hit your face on the
I'm thinking of
microphone.
Patrick on
Patrick
SpongeBob.
Stewart. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You go ahead and entertain yourself while I read the credits. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to talk to you again next week. Doing this again.
Yes.
And thank you so much for listening. God bless
Thank you.
all. Thank you for understanding. If you don't understand what we talk about or don't like it, please get in touch with us. We got an email.
Yeah. You can be pretentious as well.
Please. And if you have any questions you want to ask us, please go ahead and ask us because we'd love to hear your questions.
We'll be here.
We'll answer them.
Bye.
All right. Take care, y'all. Good night. Do you hear a clock?
Right there.